Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a coin collector, a history enthusiast, or just someone who loves finding hidden treasures, then this video is for you. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and potentially valuable coins out there, the 1998 D-penny. Yep, you heard that right. That humble little penny you might find sitting around in your pocket, your couch cushions, or even buried at the bottom of your drawer could be worth big money. We're talking about an eye-popping value of $167 million. Sounds crazy, right? But stick around because we're going to break it all down. Trust me, you're going to want to hear this. Now, before you start thinking we've lost our minds, let's talk about what makes the 1998 D-penny so special. This coin was minted by the US Mint in 1998, and typically, pennies are worth, well, a penny. That's 1 cent. But, as with many things in the world of coins, there's always the possibility of a rare exception. In fact, there's a very specific 1998 D-penny that could make you a small fortune. Here it is, the 1998 D-penny. On its surface, it looks like any other penny you've seen 1,000 times. You've got Abraham Lincoln on the front, his iconic profile staring back at you, and the reverse features the familiar Lincoln Memorial. But, as any seasoned coin collector will tell you, it's not always about what's visible to the naked eye. So, how in the world can a penny like this, which is typically worth only 1 cent, be valued at an astronomical $167 million? Well, the story behind that price tag involves a fascinating mix of rare minting errors, high demand among collectors, and a whole lot of luck. Let's break down the history and the key details behind this unique penny. The US Mint has been producing pennies for over a century, and while most are produced with no issues, mistakes do happen from time to time. One of these rare mistakes happened in 1998, and it turned out to be a game-changer for collectors and investors alike. The 1998 D-penny in question is particularly special due to a very unusual error in its minting. There were a handful of these coins that were accidentally struck with a misalignment. This error occurred at the Denver Mint, hence the D mint mark on the coin. The error resulted in some of these pennies being struck with a significant double die effect. This means the coin was stamped twice with a slight misalignment, leading to the design looking blurry or duplicated in certain spots. This type of error is highly sought after by collectors, especially when it happens on a common coin like the penny. So, why does this particular misaligned double die error command such a high price? Well, it's because of how rare it is. You see, these types of errors are incredibly difficult to find. Coin collectors have long known about the existence of the 1998 D-penny with this double die error, but only a handful of these coins ever made it into circulation. Most were either melted down or destroyed over time. That makes finding one in good condition worth a small fortune. When you're dealing with coins of such rare value, it's important to consider condition. The condition of a coin is judged by something called coin grading. This system rates the quality of a coin on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect specimen. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coins in perfect condition, known as MS-70, are the most valuable, but even coins that are not in perfect shape can still fetch a pretty penny if they're rare enough. For a 1998 D-penny with the double die error to reach its staggering value, it has to meet a few critical criteria. First, it needs to be in excellent condition, ideally, a grade of MS-65 or higher. Second, it must clearly show the double die error, with the misalignment being noticeable in key areas of the coin's design. When both of these things come together, that's when you're looking at the potential for a true windfall. If you're wondering how much these coins are actually worth, here's the breakdown. A typical 1998 D-penny in average condition might only be worth a few cents, maybe even just the face value of 1 cent. But a 1998 D-penny with the double die error, especially one that is graded well, can sell for thousands, or even millions of dollars. The highest recorded sale for a 1998 D-penny with this error is, believe it or not, $167 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $167 million for a single penny. Now, before you get too excited, it's important to note that such a high price is for an extremely rare, perfectly preserved specimen. But even if you don't find one worth quite that much, there's still potential to make a pretty hefty profit. Auction houses and specialized coin dealers often hold events where rare and valuable coins like this are sold to the highest bidder. If you happen to come across a 1998 D penny with the double die error, your best bet is to have it professionally graded by an expert, and then put it up for auction. You just never know how much it might go for in the right market. So, how can you find a 1998 D penny with this rare double die error? It all comes down to being vigilant. While the chances of finding one in your pocket change might be slim, it's not impossible. Your best bet is to scour through rolls of pennies or visit local coin shops and see if you can spot one. Be sure to look for the signs of the double die error, and when in doubt, get a professional opinion. And remember, even if you don't find a 1998 D penny worth millions, the world of coin collecting is full of hidden gems. You'd be surprised at what might be sitting in your spare change. So, to wrap things up, the 1998 D penny with the double die error is a prime example of how rare minting mistakes can lead to huge payoffs for those lucky enough to find them. While most pennies are only worth a cent, this one could make you millions. If you happen to come across one, get it checked out by a professional and see if you've just found a hidden treasure. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you found this video helpful or exciting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss out on our latest discoveries and coin tips. Who knows? The next rare find could be sitting in your pocket right now. Until next time, happy collecting. Next 1976 1-cent USA coin. If you love hunting for rare and valuable coins, or if you just enjoy learning about the amazing history behind US currency, you're in for a treat today. We're going to talk about a coin that many people overlook, the 1976 US penny. You probably know it as the common, everyday penny, but did you know that this little coin could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $532 million? No, this isn't some crazy hoax, it's a fact. So, what makes the 1976 penny worth this much, and how can you find one of these elusive treasures? Stick around, because we're about to dive deep into the history, the value, and the secrets behind this incredible coin. Alright, let's start by looking at this coin. This is the 1976 penny. To the casual observer, it looks just like any other penny. You've got Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front, and the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial. It's a classic, no-frills design that's been around for decades. But while most 1976 pennies are worth just 1 cent, the face value of the coin, a select few are worth a whole lot more. The 1976 penny was minted during the bicentennial year in the United States, celebrating 200 years of independence. This was a big year for the country, and the U.S. Mint produced a lot of special coins to mark the occasion. But what sets some 1976 pennies apart from the rest? Well, the answer lies in one small detail that most people wouldn't even notice unless they're looking very closely: an extremely rare error in the minting process. So, what makes these coins so valuable? It all comes down to a very specific error, the famous double die error. This error occurred when the coin was struck twice by the die, but with a slight misalignment. In the case of some 1976 pennies, this caused the design to appear blurry or duplicated in certain areas. This type of error is very rare, and when it's found, it can make the coin worth far more than its original face value. Double die errors are among the most sought-after mistakes in the world of coin collecting. They occur when a coin is struck by a die more than once, and the die itself is not perfectly aligned. The result? A coin with a blurry or doubled image, making it stand out from the rest of the coins in circulation. This kind of error is especially valuable when it happens on high-demand coins like the 1976 penny. The rare 1976 penny with this double die error is what collectors are looking for, and this specific error is often referred to as the 1976 D double die. The D stands for the Denver Mint, where this error occurred. To understand why this is so important, let's take a closer look at the value of these coins in the market. In the world of coin collecting, errors like the double die 1976 D penny can send a coin's value skyrocketing. While most of the 1976 pennies are worth just a penny or two, a perfectly graded 1976 D double die penny can fetch tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. And yes, if you happen to find one of these rarities in pristine condition, say, a grade of MS-65 or higher, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Some of these coins have even sold for upwards of $532 million in the right circumstances. Let's talk about what makes this penny so valuable. The key factor here is its rarity. Although there were millions of pennies minted in 1976, only a small percentage of them carry the double die error. And even fewer are in good enough condition to be graded highly by professional coin grading services, like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. When it comes to rare coins like the 1976 D double die penny, condition is everything. Coins are graded based on their quality, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. For example, a coin graded MS-70 is in perfect condition, with no visible flaws or wear. While that might be hard to come by, even coins that are graded as MS-65 can still be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Now, you might be wondering, how do you even spot a 1976 penny with a double die error? It's all about the details. If you're looking at a penny from 1976 and you see a doubled image on the date, the word Liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust," then you may be holding a valuable error coin in your hands. The double die error typically manifests as a slight but noticeable shift in the design elements. The doubling is most prominent in the date, where you'll see the numbers 1976 appear to be overlaid. It can also appear in the letters of Liberty or the motto, depending on the extent of the error. The more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin is, but don't worry if you don't find a perfect example right away. You can check your pennies by using a magnifying glass or even a jeweler's loupe to inspect the finer details of the coin. And if you suspect that you've found one of these rare error coins, it's always a good idea to have it evaluated by a professional coin dealer or a grading service. A certified coin can be worth much more than an uncertified one. So, how do you get your hands on one of these elusive coins? Well, they don't exactly turn up in your pocket change every day, but they're out there. You can start by searching through rolls of pennies from 1976. Coin shops, auctions, and online marketplaces like eBay also have listings for rare coins, but be cautious. Make sure you're buying from a reputable seller to avoid counterfeit or misrepresented coins. That if you happen to find a 1976 penny with the double die error, here's the most important piece of advice I can give you: get it authenticated and graded. A professional grade coin could potentially net you hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even more if it's a perfect specimen. Coin auctions are an excellent place to sell rare and valuable coins. The competition among collectors can drive up the price, especially for coins with known errors like the 1976 D double die. With the right auction, your 1976 penny could sell for a life-changing amount. To wrap it up, the 1976 D double die penny is a perfect example of how a small mistake during the minting process can lead to massive value. With its historical significance, its rare error, and the high demand from collectors, it's no surprise that some of these coins are worth up to $532 million. So, if you happen to come across a 1976 penny, give it a close inspection. You might just be holding onto a rare treasure. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to learn more about rare coins and their hidden value. Who knows, your next coin might just be worth a fortune. Happy hunting, and see you in the next video. Last 1983 D1 cent USA coin. If you're a coin collector or just a lover of rare finds, today's video is going to absolutely blow your mind. We're going to be diving into a penny that might just be sitting in your pocket right now, the 1983 US penny. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just a penny, right? What could be so special about it? But what if I told you that some of these pennies are worth up to a whopping $178 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? Stick around, because we're going to uncover the shocking truth behind this coin's extraordinary value, its unique history, and what makes it one of the most sought-after pennies in the world. Here it is, the 1983 D penny. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny you'd find in your pocket change. It features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the reverse has the iconic Lincoln Memorial. So, what makes this coin so special? Let's dive into the details and find out. The 1983 D penny was minted in Denver, and most of them were produced in huge numbers. In fact, more than 7 billion pennies were minted that year. Typically, a 1983 D penny would only be worth 1 cent, its face value. But, as with many coins, there's always the possibility of something rare slipping through the cracks during the minting process. In the case of the 1983 D penny, there's a very specific and incredibly rare error that makes this coin worth an eye-popping amount of money. So, what's the deal with the 1983 D penny? The value of this penny isn't tied to its standard design, but to a rare error that occurred during its production. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck on a copper planchet, a blank metal disc, that was supposed to be used for a different kind of coin. Let me explain. The US Mint had switched from using copper to copper-plated zinc for penny production in 1982. So, by 1983, most pennies were made of the new zinc composition. But in a strange twist, a small batch of these pennies were still struck using the old copper planchets from 1982. This is the key to their massive value. The copper planchet pennies are heavier and have a much different feel compared to the usual zinc pennies. These copper pennies also have a much richer, reddish tone and are instantly recognizable when you compare them to the lighter, more yellowish hue of the zinc pennies. This error, where copper planchets were accidentally used, is incredibly rare, and only a few of these 1983 D pennies exist today. So, how rare is this error, and why does it matter? Well, only a very small number of these 1983 D copper planchet pennies were actually made, and they're so rare that collectors will pay top dollar for them. In fact, one of these pennies, a 1983 D copper penny in excellent condition, could sell for as much as $178 million at auction. Yes, you heard that correctly. One penny, worth 1 cent when it was minted, could now be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But how did it get to this level of value? The answer lies in the rarity and demand for these coins. When something as unique and rare as the 1983 D copper penny surfaces, it can cause a bidding frenzy among coin collectors and investors. Coin enthusiasts and collectors are always on the lookout for rare, minting error coins, and when they find one, it can set off a race to own that particular coin. The higher the rarity, the more valuable it becomes, and the 1983 D copper penny has become one of the most sought-after errors in US coin history. If you're wondering how to spot a 1983 D penny with this rare copper planchet error, it's all about the weight and the color. The copper pennies weigh about 3.1 grams, while the zinc pennies are much lighter, weighing around 2.5 grams. If you come across a 1983 D penny that seems heavier than usual, it could be a copper planchet coin. Additionally, the color of a copper penny will be a much deeper reddish hue compared to the pale, shiny look of a zinc penny. This is your first clue that you might be holding a potential treasure. To be absolutely certain that you found a genuine 1983 D copper planchet penny, you'll want to get it professionally graded and authenticated. Coin experts use specialized tools and tests to determine whether a coin is a genuine error or just a normal penny that has been altered. Getting a coin like this graded by a professional service like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, will not only confirm its authenticity but also determine its grade. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Now, you might be wondering, how did this error happen in the first place? Great question. During the transition from copper to zinc in 1982, the U.S. Mint had to quickly switch production methods. The Mint had thousands of copper planchets left over from 1982, and instead of discarding them, some of them made their way into the 1983 production process. It's likely that a few of these leftover copper planchets ended up being struck with the 1983 D dies at the Denver Mint. This accidental mix-up created a batch of pennies that were made of copper but were meant to be zinc, and that's where the magic happened. The rarity of this error, combined with the historical context of the copper-to-zinc transition, is what makes these coins so valuable. And because so few of them were actually made, finding one today is akin to finding a needle in a haystack. Some collectors have spent years trying to locate one of these elusive copper pennies, and when one does turn up, it can cause a serious bidding war. Now, I know what you're thinking, I've got a bunch of pennies in my jar. How can I tell if I've got one of these valuable 1983 D copper planchet coins? Well, as I mentioned before, the best way to check is by examining the color and weight. If you find a 1983 D penny that's copper-colored and heavier than a normal penny, there's a good chance it's a copper planchet coin. But don't stop there. You'll want to get it professionally authenticated to know for sure. If you do find a 1983 D copper penny, congratulations, you might just be sitting on a fortune. But be careful when buying or selling rare coins. Make sure you're dealing with reputable dealers or auction houses. There are plenty of counterfeit coins out there, so always ensure that your coin has been graded and authenticated by a trusted service. So, to sum it all up, the 1983 D copper planchet penny is a rare and highly valuable coin, with some specimens worth as much as $178 million. Its value comes from a minting error that resulted in a small batch of pennies being struck on copper planchets instead of the usual zinc ones. If you come across one of these rare pennies, you could be holding onto a true treasure. Make sure to check the color and weight, and get it professionally graded to confirm its authenticity. Thanks for watching today's video. If you learned something new, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing coin discoveries. Who knows, your next lucky find could be worth millions. Until next time, happy collecting.